Holiday and Anthony Simons will be switching teams. We also had another trade in the NBA to get to. Now, this one is more of the traditional three-team trade deals. The Clippers, Jazz, and Heat have all agreed to a trade. Now, what that will do, it's going to send Norman Powell to the Heat. It's going to send John Collins to the Clippers, and then Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson and a 2027 Clippers second-round pick will all go to Utah. Utah really good at getting themselves involved in these multi-team trades and all of that. So we've got now, three teams involved in this one. Again, Norman Powell to the Heat, John Collins to the Clippers, Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a future second-round pick for in 2027, all headed to Utah. In some baseball news, and we'll get to more in-depth when we go through baseball at 4:40, but a couple of quick things. So the Nats, late last week, fired Dave Martinez, manager, and general manager Mike Rizzo. I believe this is the fourth manager that's already been relieved, third or fourth this season. There were at least two really early on. But Nats not happy with their direction. They fired Dave Martinez and Mike Rizzo. They have announced that Miguel Cairo will be the interim manager until they name a full-time, which more than likely will go through most of the rest of this year. Cairo, I believe this is his first big league managerial experience. Of course, he played for 17 years in Major League Baseball, but he had been a minor league infield coordinator for the Mets, and he was a bench coach for the Chicago White Sox. He was also named interim manager, I believe, after Tony La Russa stepped aside with the White Sox, going 18-16 down the stretch. But so I guess he did have some basic interim experience with the White Sox before coming over, but this will be his first stint, obviously, with the Nats. The Nats currently sit at 37-53. They are last in the National League East, and were just swept this weekend at home by the Boston Red Sox. The Nats have not finished higher than fourth in the division since winning the 2019 World Series. So quite a fall from grace there for the Nats, but hopefully they can turn this around with this interim appointment and whatever they decide to do going forward. Pete Alonso, has decided that he will not be a part of the Home Run Derby at this year's All-Star Game festivities. Alonso is a two-time winner of the Home Run Derby, but has decided not to be a part of that this year, which I understand. I mean, it kind of gets a little bit old at times, and you feel like been there, done that. But it is nice when the stars who obviously take an interest in it and have obviously had success in the thing, we'd love to see the big names involved in these things. But Pete's decided not this year for me. So,
Coach,
yeah.
Do you think that during like the home run derby that maybe that kind of messes up the players' swing a little bit? They're swinging for the fences every time and not their normal in-game approach.
Prior to the last 5 or 10 years, I would say yes. It seems like that's what baseball is now. I mean, these guys now, they hit 50 home runs and strike out 300 times, it seems like. So, no, I don't know. I mean, at their level, they're professionals. I doubt it. Maybe they put a little extra oomph in it or try a little extra something, but I don't know that it probably messes with their swing. The one that I heard more often in the past, and it was always why it seemed like the better golfers who were baseball players were pitchers, was there was always a worry that a golf swing would mess up a baseball swing. And I don't know if that was one of those, old urban legends or,
I think they got it backwards. The golf swing is going to get messed up if you start playing baseball.
Yeah, well, definitely. But, I mean, these are professional baseball players going out playing golf. There was always a worry that it would mess up their swing. I mean, look, baseball is probably the most superstitious of all the sports. So maybe that's one of those old superstitions. But I guess with anything, anytime you do something that's slightly different, it could. Like I said, it's less likely now where guys aren't slap hitting for average, just trying to put the bat on the ball, where it's literally, as Ron Polk used to call LSU, gorilla ball, where it's just swing for the fences, and, if you strike out, you strike out. But, so I don't know. I guess it's possible, but I don't think that's why they avoid it. I honestly think most of them look at the All-Star break as literally a break where they finally get some time off, and so they'll do the game, but a lot of the guys who've been around don't want to be involved in every other little thing that's a part of it. Maybe it's just a guess on my part, but could be. Over at Wimbledon, kind of an interesting scenario here, where Yannick Skinner has advanced to the Wimbledon quarterfinals despite hurting his right elbow in a fall early in the match, and he dropped the first 2 sets. But then his opponent, Grigor Dimitrov, had to retire up 2 sets and tied 2-all in the third with an injured pectoral muscle. Now, number 1 seed Skinner had not dropped a set in this entire tournament until he fell behind Dimitrov, who was ranked 19th in the rankings for the tournament. He was behind 6-3, 7-5. They were 2-all in the third, and Dimitrov just stopped. And, unfortunately, he had kind of felt something go. He went in to try and get a little treatment, see if he could continue. He knew it was his pec right away, and then he came back out and announced that he could not continue. Dimitrov's been a 3-time semifinalist at majors, including Wimbledon in 2014. Unfortunately, this has been a bit of a kind of a label put on Dimitrov, because he's had to retire at majors multiple times going back to 2009. 10 retirements. It's the most of any player in the majors since 1968. In the 2009 Wimbledon, it was a knee injury. 2012 Wimbledon, he had flu or illness, so I guess that doesn't count as an injury. But listen to this now, just in the last 4 years. 2021 French Open, retired with a back injury. 2021 U.S. Open with a foot injury. 22 Wimbledon, a thigh injury. Last year's Wimbledon, a groin injury. Last year's U.S. Open, groin injury again. The 2025 Australian Open this year, an adductor injury. 2025 French Open, thigh injury, and now the pec muscle. So all 3 majors this year, 4 in a row if you include last year's U.S. Open.